Hello, Elizabeth Dennison here. Thank you for joining me again for our conversations about grief and love, hope, spiritual connection, and renewal. You may remember from our last conversation that I spoke about turnings, those pivotal events in a lifetime that have us changing inner or outer course. Like you, I've had many turnings in my life, but nothing prepared me for the spiritual upheaval that followed the death of my son, SHAWNAN, 10 years ago when he lost his battle with a crippling depression. So you can appreciate my surprise when less than 24 hours after his passing, I was woken in the very, very wee hours of the morning by his presence. It was what I came later to call a spirit hug. It felt like being embraced by a vibrating cocoon of warmth and light that I can only really describe as feeling like being held in the arms of love. I'll never forget that. But you might ask, how did I know it was SHAWNAN? Well, the short answer is every mother recognizes her own child. But I did have my doubts, and over the months, Spirit sent messages and information that helped me to lift those doubts and to believe in our connection. So for several months, SHAWNAN Spirit engaged me telepathically in conversations from his afterlife. And I would diligently record these. When I was awoken, I'd reach over to my bedside table for my pen and paper and put on my headlamp and scribble to keep up with the communications. Then the following day, I'd transcribe these, and those many pages of communications I tucked away for over 9 years. The first messages that came to me were SHAWNAN's Spirit's attempts to comfort me, to let me know that he was safe. He tried to use human words to describe a place that was far beyond my understanding, where he spoke of a deep freedom, a deep healing peace, and the experience of pure love. The next messages were more about his experience there, what he called a transformation or his soul evolution, in which this spirit collective, which he sometimes called the forgiveness circle, was helping him to unravel the destructive patterns of thinking that had led to his struggles in his past lifetime. From there, he moved on to offer his perspective from the afterlife, and then to ask me to embrace a different, more expanded way of looking at my own life and all of its challenges and traumas. I'd like to share with you one passage in his words about this. I needed every single one of my experiences on earth, every little pain, every joy, every thrill, every moment of boredom or disappointment, every delicious flavor. Mama, let go of your resistance to accepting my painful experiences, that they were less than perfect for me. You have done a magnificent job of accepting your own. Yes, mothers are hardwired to keep their children safe. It's a biological imperative, but not a spiritual one. You know better, so now choose to release your limiting thoughts. You have asked for and are receiving big growth in this lifetime. It clears the way. That was only one of many, many passages that would change my life forever. What followed was a wealth of information, guidance on how to practice love for myself and for others, to release my judgments, my resentments, every form of unforgiveness that was a burden, that was holding me back, quite frankly, from feeling joyful and expressing my unique purpose. But most profoundly, I came to understand that what SHAWNAN Spirit meant by it clears the way was how my personal emotional housekeeping could help support those who came before me, those who had already passed, from their own wounding, help free them from their own wounding, and to prevent crippling patterns from being passed on to future generations. I continue to practice what I learned from Spirit. Plenty to keep me busy for the rest of this lifetime. And it's not because I'm especially courageous. It's because I'm motivated to avoid the pain that I inflict on myself when I hold on to resentment or unforgiveness. These messages were not just meant for me. They were meant to be shared. Who wouldn't do everything in their power to clear the way for our children and our grandchildren, to care for our Mother Earth, who has cared for us so abundantly? You'll be able to read all of SHAWNAN Spirit's messages in my transformational memoir, SHAWNAN Spirit Speaks, Love is the Forever Adventure, when it's released next fall, 2026. In the meantime, I encourage you to check out another YouTube video about a powerful practice for forgiveness called Ho'oponopono. That's Ho'oponopono. And it was taught to me by a Hawaiian kahuna teacher, Harry Uhani Jim. Please accept my heartfelt invitation to stay tuned to YouTube for more of our talks. Love is the Forever Adventure. And please send your comments, thoughts, and questions through my website, ElizabethDennison.com. Thank you so much. Be well and be happy.